Good morning, my lovely students. I hope you're having a wonderful day and staying safe and warm in your homes. Today we're going to be working on our math book, or with our math book. So go ahead and grab it and turn to pages 175 and 176. As you may see, my math book looks a little bit different than yours because I have the answer guide, and I just went ahead and I took a photocopy of it and erased all the answers so that while we're working on it, we don't have to look at the answers. If not, we come up with the answers on our own together. So first things first, we're going to go ahead and look at our value of the day, or a quote of the day. Upper right hand corner of page 176, it reads as follows: what you are today, or what you are tomorrow, you are becoming today. In a sense, that just means that every day we're working towards becoming the future and better version of ourselves. It seems hard to believe that at just 8 or 9 years old, we are already working towards become future adults, but in a sense, that is exactly what we're doing. Everything that we're doing, playing, learning, laughing, sadness, everything that goes on in our lives is helping us develop into the people that we are going to be. And hopefully we're all going to be wonderful, amazing people that contribute to society in a positive way. Remember, it's not about how much you make, if not how much impact you can make within your close family members and your community. Okay, so today we're going to work on fractions of a group. As you know, last week we introduced the topic of fractions. And remember, we learned that the numerator is what tells us how many equal parts are used, and the denominator tells us how many equal parts are in all. So for example, if I go ahead and write the fraction 2/3 on my paper, what am I saying? Well, 2 is the numerator and 3 is the denominator. I can tell you, I bought a Hershey's candy bar and I ate 2/3 of it. That means that out of 3 parts of a Hershey's candy bar, I ate 2 of them, and I left 1 of them and probably gave it to my brother or sister, or I just saved it in the fridge for the following day. That's what we're talking about when we talk about fractions. It's about dividing things into equal parts and then kind of adding them up to see how much is being used of one thing, okay? So if we look at our little box, which I guess is yellow in your book, we're going to go ahead and read what it says inside that little informational box. 4/10 of the children are girls, and 6/10 of the children are boys. 4 represents the numerator, how many girls there are in this group. And just to make sure, we're going to go ahead and count to see. We have 1 girl, 2 girls, 3 girls, and 4 girls. So that is correct. 4 out of the 10 children that are here are girls. And so how many are boys? Well, 6 of the 10 children that are here are boys. Let's go ahead and check if that's correct. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So yes, that is correct. 6 out of the 10 children are boys. And if we were to write that down as a fraction, we would go ahead and write 6/10, okay? Same way that it's written here for girls. 4 out of the 10 children are girls. Okay, so let's go ahead and begin with our class practice. We're going to write the fractions to show what part of the group. On letter A, it says as follows: Mary Beth has 9 dolls. 5 are from foreign countries. What fraction of the dolls is from foreign countries? Now, there's 2 ways that you can go about this when thinking about a story problem in terms of a fraction. You can go ahead and say, okay, 9 is my total amount of dolls, so I can just go ahead and write 9 right there. And then what part of those 9 dolls are from foreign countries? Well, 5. So I'm just going to go ahead and write 5 on top. And there I have it, 5 9s. Or I can just simply go ahead and say, okay, if 5 of the dolls are from foreign countries and there's 9 dolls total, then that automatically means that I have 5 9s. 5 9s of the dolls are from foreign countries. Either way, It's exactly the same. It just depends on how you think about how fractions are supposed to be written. You can either start from your numerator and work your way down to the denominator, or you can just write the denominator and then add the numerator, okay? Let's go ahead and look at letter B. Jason has 5 siblings. Of the siblings, 3 are girls. What fraction of the siblings is girls? So this seems pretty simple. We have 5 siblings total, so I could just go ahead and write my denominator on the bottom. Because remember, denominator tells us how many equal parts in all. So in all, there's 5 siblings. And out of those 5 siblings, and remember, siblings means brother or sister, so Jason has 5 brothers and sisters, or 5 brothers or 5 sisters. How many of those are girls? Well, 3 of them are girls. So you're just gonna go ahead and write 3 on top. And there you have it. 3/5 of the siblings are girls. Let's go ahead and look at letter C. Mrs. Olson has 4 rings. 3 rings are made of silver. What fractions of the rings is silver? Simple, right? That would have to be 3/4 of the rings. Because if you have 4 rings, that's the denominator, the total amount of rings that Mrs. Olson has. And out of those rings, how many are silver? And that would be 3. You would write the numerator on top. And there you have it. 3/4 of the rings are silver. And finally, let's look at the last problem. Latia has 3 blue pencils and 5 red pencils. What fraction of the pencils are red? So this one is interesting because we have to do kind of like a 2-step process in order to determine how many pencils are in total. So it says that Latia has 3 blue pencils and she has 5 red pencils. In order for us to know how many pencils she has total, which would be the denominator, we would need to add 5 plus 3. And 5 plus 3 would equal 8, correct. So we're gonna go ahead and write 8 as our denominator. And now we can go ahead and answer what fraction of the pencils are red. Well, it clearly says here that 5 of those pencils are red. So we're gonna go ahead and add 5 on top of the 8, 5 being the numerator, 8 being the denominator. 5/8 of the pencils are in red. Why don't you go ahead and write next to 5/8, how many pencils are there in blue, okay? Let's go ahead and look at question number 2. Draw pictures to illustrate the sentences. Letter A, Emma has half a glass of milk left. So what are we going to do? You're going to draw a glass of milk, but not a full glass of milk, not a little bit of milk. You're gonna draw half a glass of milk. So as best as you can, you're going to go ahead and draw that glass of milk. And then just draw a line where you think half is and shade it in, okay? So that I know that there's something there. And that would be half a glass of milk. Letter B, Daryl cut the pizza into 4 pieces. So what are we going to do here? We're gonna draw a pizza. So your pizza could be square, it could be circular, it doesn't matter. Just go ahead and draw your pizza. And it says you're gonna cut it into 4 equal pieces, right? So we're gonna go ahead and draw a line down the center, and then we're gonna draw a line across, and there you have your 4 slices of pizza. Now you can also, if you just wanna be a little bit creative, add a little bit of mushrooms and pepperoni and olives to your pizza if you'd like. Just try to make it a little bit of fun, if you will. That's optional. Okay, and then letter C, Mr. Dancy has half of his donut left. Why don't you go ahead and draw what half of a donut looks like right next to your pizza, okay? Alrighty, so now let's go ahead and look at number 3. How many fractional parts does each figure have? Write only the denominator. Remember, denominator means the equal parts in all, right? So we're just gonna look here and see how many parts does this square have? Well, we're gonna count. 1, 2, 3, 4. So the square has 4. How many parts does this triangle have? 1, 2. This triangle has a total of 2 parts. How many parts does this rectangle have? 1, 2, 3. So we're just gonna go ahead and write the number 3 down here. And then finally, we have this circle. You're going to go ahead and count all the parts of the circle, and you're gonna write the total amount right here for me, okay? Finally, let's go ahead and look at part 4. What fractional part of each figure below is red? Now, this isn't a color copy, it is a black and white copy, but the dark part represents the color red. So we're gonna take that into consideration when we go ahead and solve these equations or these problems. So in letter A, we have a circle, and one part of the circle is white and the other part of the circle is red. So what fraction of this circle is red? Well, there's only one part that is red, and there's a total of 1, 2 parts. So half of my circle, or 1/2 of my circle, is red. Okay? The next one, we have a square, and the square is cut into 1, 2, 3, 4 parts. So there's a total of 4 parts, that would be the denominator, and only one part of this square is red. So I'm gonna go ahead and write 1 as the numerator and 4 as a denominator. 1/4 of this square is red. The next one, I have a circle, and it's divided into 1, 2, 3 parts, 3 equal parts. So 3 would be the denominator. Now, what is the numerator? Well, let's see. 1, 2, 2 of the parts are in red. So 2 would be the numerator. 3 would be the denominator. That means that 2/3 of my fraction or of my circle is red. Why don't you go ahead and do letter D for me? As we continue down the page, we have a few divide and check problems. I do want you to work on those, and please complete all of them. On letter 6, you're going to write the answers. There's a little bit of multiplication, there's a little bit of addition, and then there's addition with parentheses. Now remember, to solve an equation that has a parentheses, you always work the parentheses first, and then you go ahead and solve the entire equation, okay? In problem 7, you're going to solve this measurement equation. So remember what I said, you always want to prep your page first. You're going to look and see, what do we have here? We have 6 weeks plus 3 days equals blank days. The answer has to be in days. So what is it that you're going to convert into days? Well, guess what? This right here. 6 weeks has to be converted into days. Once you know that part and you square it off in your book, then you're gonna be able to complete the 3-step process, okay? Part 8, you're gonna work and check. You're going to do a little bit of subtraction, a little bit of addition, and then there's addition with dollar signs and decimal points, so please do not forget that. And then we do have some subtraction and addition with commas, so don't forget your commas. And then finally, answer these. Letter A, could you give a friend the larger half of an apple? Well, let's see. If I have 1 apple, I'm just going to go ahead and see if I can draw that apple here. And I need to cut it in half. So I cut that apple exactly in half. Am I going to give my friend the larger half of an apple? Well, the answer would be no, actually, because apples, if they're cut exactly in half, there isn't one part larger than the other. They are exactly equal. So that's what we write here. Halves are equal. And please pardon my handwriting. I know it's atrocious. It's kind of hard to write and tape at the same time. I'll get better as the days go by. And then finally, letter B. You and 3 friends are sharing a pie. Into how many equal pieces should you divide the pie? Well, I'm just gonna go ahead and to make things easier for me, I'm gonna go ahead and draw that pie. And if I am sharing the pie with 3 friends, I need to include myself in that equation. So 3 friends plus myself would equal 4 people. So I need to divide the pie into 4 pieces. So I'm going to go ahead and draw a line down the middle, and then a line across, and there I have it. 1, 2, 3, 4. So here's a piece for myself, here's a piece for friend number 1, friend number 2, and friend number 3. And there I have it. How many equal pieces should I divide the pie into? Easy peasy. Number 4. Okay, well, students, I hope you were able to understand what we had working with today. If you have any questions, as always, you can send me a message or text me. I'm more than happy to help you, and I hope to see you soon. Take care. Bye.